a world where plant connection is at the heart of our lives, and in a sense also, how do we create that ecological literacy? How do we create plant connection? How do we bring the wild plants into our lives in a very rich way? So, you know, and I'm sharing with you my life's work in a sense. This is In the Wild Kitchen. Is a really fat, juicy class, pretty episodically shot, very richly filmed. But inside of that too are these nuggets of wisdom that I hope spark confidence, that, and we'll go through how, you know, how to make that happen. So for me, it's how do I create a team of excellent foragers? You know, how do I get you on this journey with me? But it's going to be your own journey, and you're going to experience it in your own very personal way. The beauty of this work is that it's really about connecting the human organism to the plant kingdom, to the plant organisms, and that relationship. And it is me, I love to eat. So it is a lot about eating, but it's actually a lot about heart connection, or how would you just say, presence. And I'm going to get to that with Foraging Fundamentals, which is my newest. And it's an exciting program because it sort of pushes this edge, because it isn't, I mean, I'm a very practical person, and so you're going to see that. I'm going to give you very practical tips, but part of what I want to share is the open-ended journey of connecting and of being present within oneself and with the plant kingdom. So that's at the heart of all of this work. It's at the deep heart of all of this work. But really, for me, part of the game is, well, who can I eat? What's out there that I can make medicine with? You know, so it's tapping into the treasures, you know, the amazingness that exists in the wild landscape. And partly, I feel as a culture, including for myself, you know, I wasn't necessarily raised with a lot of plant literacy. And so that's part of this game, is how do we create plant literacy? How do we, you know, how there's this sort of green curtain that everybody just sees, or a green carpet, and really the plant diversity in those settings are hundreds of species of plants we're walking on. It just looks like a green carpet. So how do we tease that out? How do we use our senses to perceive what's actually there? And then how do we learn the gifts that they are for us? So here we are inside the In the Wild Kitchen course. And if you scroll, this is your this welcome video into the kitchen. And then if you scroll down, as I'm doing, you're going to see all the different lessons. And inside of those lessons, if you open, there's a video there for you. It's a video lesson, and it's a beautiful lesson.
Hi, my name is Dina Falcone, and I'm a girl.
All right, Dina, hush up. And so, but there you go. And I really, you know, share with you, within each lesson, you're going to meet 1 to 4 plants at a certain stage of their growth. And then we feature a master recipe, sometimes 2 master recipes. So that's in the one lesson there. And then here is your PDF. So this is your PDF that you can download. And it's a beautiful piece of work here. And we've got visuals for you. And then also the master recipe as, you know, as a written piece, as well as in the video itself. You're going to hear me really bringing that to life and just giving you ideas. And then just let me pause here with the wild green variations, or the garden variations, or the cultivated additions, just as a sense to reference the master recipe aspect of these recipes I'm sharing, so that you aren't stuck. Let's say there's no nettle shoots. That's fine. Right now, you can go make a beautiful wild green pesto, let's say with cilantro and parsley, or with watercress, things that maybe your co-op or the farmer's market has. So it's pretty amazing. You've got a lot of play here. Don't stall by the fact, you know, by the fact that you can't actually get the herb that I'm featuring. That's okay. But when nettle shoots are available, you want to be on them. They're amazing. You're going to, you know, they're a powerful food. And this pesto is just a really perky, potent food. So anyway, part of these PDFs too have all of the takeaway points. So they're highlighting. Let me stop sharing for a moment. Oops, whoops. Stop your screen sharing is pause. No, I want to stop the share. There we go. So I can see you all. So that's just a sense of one of the lessons, and in the lesson, you're going to get the takeaway point. So it's almost like a tutor is there with you. So it highlights, those PDFs highlight aspects that you want to definitely imprint, right? Okay, so I'm making it easy for you, aren't I? It's kind of like, putting 30 years, it's like having someone holding your hand, very, very much so, and giving you the confidence. So, the member who asked that question, how do I know it's safe to eat? So if you were to go to the nettle shoot and you were going to look at that video, we don't let you not see it. You've got to match all the clues. You want to look exactly as I'm showing you in the film, in real life, and you don't have any question marks. You go, definitely, that is what I'm seeing, is what I'm seeing in the film, is what I'm seeing there in the landscape. So that's, yeah, so we spend a lot of luxurious time slowly IDing the plants for you. Okay.
So I would like to know how you got on this journey and how you started just loving what you do, because that's very clear in all of your lessons, how much you love what you do.
Wow, thanks, Erin. Thanks for asking that. I'll try to share, because we have a lot still. I want to make sure Foraging Fundamentals is deeply covered. But what about myself? Let's see, I'm an urban kid. I was raised in the Lower East Side of New York City in a pretty rough time in history, and also a very rich time in history. And the seeds for food as medicine were planted then when I was I was 11. So I began this journey of food as medicine, which morphed into herbalism and into wild food. Of course it would, because that's the, potent food comes from, the wild plants more than anything. So that's the beginnings. And I think, then how to answer this, I became a clinical herbalist. So I trained with William Lasassier, who has passed away now, and this was about 30 years ago. And my passion just for being empowered and for empowering other people, I think started just at that like preteen era. Like, we're going to take it in our own hands. We're going to make a difference. Like, we're going to make a world that we care about. That's a beautiful world. So it comes from that passion of self-care and care of others. And, that crazy rich part, I think, of growing up in a setting like that, that was also extremely creative and allowed, like, because I went to India as a college student. I was I was trained in yoga, and, I was searching in a sense for how do we use alternative healthcare to really create health in ourselves and in people. So it's always been there. Like, even though I was in a pre-med, I was at Colgate in pre-med, and then I go back off into alternative, and it was just like, how do we, part of my, I guess I should share this too, is that part of my training is as a creative person, is as someone, I was always, the schooling that I had in Greenwich Village and in Performing Arts High School, and then at Bard College, it's all about creative thinking and problem solving. I was a dancer. I've danced all my life, choreography, visual arts. And it's like, how do we problem solve, and how do we use the creative mind to see? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's answering any of what you asked, but that's a good segue into Foraging Fundamentals.
Thank you. That totally answers it. Yay.